In order to communicate with and offer a degree of control over external devices and systems, CSC includes a range of MIDI, serial and network modules. Much of the MIDI standard is covered, including channel voice messages, system exclusive, MIDI Machine Control and MIDI Show Control. CSC can interpret incoming timecode streams and trigger cues accordingly. Serial messages in ASCII or hex format can be formed and sent to local PC COM ports. Messages can also be sent via TCP or UDP network connections using protocols such as telnet or OSC. Some parts of the MIDI system deal with the input side, so these will be covered separately in the control overview. The MIDI output system can drive two independent ports. These can be seen in the MIDI output setup window found in the MIDI menu. The 16 MIDI channels can be named per port, as well as specify the MIDI interface to use. Each channel has two further configurable options, labelled PC0 and Notes. Standard channel voice messages contain a command value indicating what the MIDI message is, followed by 1 or 2 data bytes, with values in the range 0 to 127. For some messages, such as program change messages, used to control a mixing desk, this can cause an observed offset, whereby MIDI value 0 actually refers to memory number 1. By default, CSC will show all program change messages as 1 to 128 and translate back to 0 to 127 when sending. By ticking the PC0 tick box, these messages will be shown as 0 to 127. The Notes tick box will show any note on or note off message by their note description, such as C3 or A2, rather than a 0 to 127 value. The mixer conversion options allow a further translation between program change numbers and various mixing desk memory systems, allowing, for example, the number 235 to be entered as a program change value. Whilst this is technically incorrect, CSC will translate this into the corresponding control change and program change combination required by the mixing desk to recall scene 235. MIDI command allows the entry of standard channel voice messages. Like many modules in CSC, clicking the plus button will add the message to the module for the currently selected cue. Up to 16 messages, known as events, can be added per cue, and events can be deleted by selecting and clicking the cross. Events can be edited by double-clicking their entry, making the change, and then clicking the tick button. The play button can be used to test events. MIDI favorites, events that might be used a lot during a show, such as a specific control change, can be added to the favorites list by clicking the Add Favorites icon, and the Favorites star button can be used to show the current favorites list to add to a queue. All events in the queue can be tested using the Multiplay button in the bottom corner. The MIDI Show Control window allows the creation of system-exclusive messages. MIDI Show Control and MIDI Machine Control are subsets of this, and the first two tabs allow easy generation of these messages. For non-standard or custom system-exclusive messages, a message can be entered directly in hex data bytes. As with the previous module, clicking the plus button will add events to the currently selected queue, double-clicking will allow an edit, and the play button will audition the system-exclusive message shown in the preview bar. CSC contains 4 MIDI sequence players. A MIDI sequence is a collection of MIDI messages to be played on a timed sequence. This could be used to fire note-on events for a sampler or automate the movement of a fader on a mixer using control change messages. Combined with the MIDI Sequence Manager and the MIDI Sequence List Editor, new sequences can be entered and values edited. Sequences can even be recorded live from the MIDI input, connected to a keyboard or mixer output. For a precise timed series of events, the generator can be used. This could create a fader movement on a mixing desk or slowly increase an effect send using control changes, applying reverb to a live performance, for example. The MIDI Sequence Functions window can be used to alter the duration of a sequence, filter events, find and replace controllers, or even transpose to new notes. Sequences can be exported to individual files, although they are also saved with the show file in case the original files are lost. MIDI Machine Control provides a quick transport control for any device with a transport function which responds to MMC commands, such as a hard disk recorder or digital audio workstation. Keyzone Explorer provides a quick way of naming and sending a note on message, such as auditioning notes on a sampler or video server. Full note off, reset controllers, and all notes off can be used to reset stuck notes or controller values. A full note off cycle should only be used if the all notes off doesn't work, as it will send a note off to every note on every channel, so could take some time to complete. The remaining entries in the MIDI menu are related to MIDI input functionality, and so will be covered in the control overview video. CSC is able to talk to 4 local COM ports, create 8 TCP socket connections, and address up to 8 UDP destinations. The communications ports are set under the Comms Setup option in the Comms menu. The Serial 1 to 4 tab provides standard COM port settings to define the data size, parity, and speed settings required by the external device. Telnet 1 to 4 and 5 to 8 allow a destination IP and remote port to be set for network communication. By default, the telnet protocol is assumed, although any communication method using either plain text or hex-encoded data can be used. TCP connections are commonly used for network control of devices. The UDP ports 1 to 8 allow an IP and port to be specified for a connectionless UDP destination. That is to say, CSC doesn't require a fully connected socket, as is the case of TCP, but will simply send and hope. This protocol is commonly used for OSC network messages. Messages are created and added to the queue list in the Serial Network command window. Data can be added as hex bytes or plain ASCII text, although it should be indicated to CSC which method is being used by selecting one of the 3 protocol options. Include a carriage return and line feed if the receiving device requires it to complete a message. OSC is a control protocol commonly used for controlling devices over a network in a way that MIDI has previously been, and by some is seen as the successor of MIDI. CSC is able to pass data entered here into OSC message packets, although consult the documentation for the exact format required. Once again, events can be added to the queue using the plus button, deleted with the cross, and edited by double-clicking and using the tick when complete. The play button can be used to audition events. The telnet monitor can be used to monitor any return messages from connected network equipment, and messages can be entered and sent to the selected port.